Shalom uvracha to all. I hope everybody's doing well, but Be'ezus Hashem, I'm so sorry for the long delay in these videos and this chat, which I care so deeply about, and I very, very, very much intend to continue. It wasn't just a little, start of something that I didn't intend to carry on. I was just really, really sick last week with a very terrible case of strep. Mamish knocked me out pretty much straight after the bris. I got into bed and didn't come out for the next week, pretty much, like totally out of it. And Baruch Hashem, as of yesterday, I'm feeling much stronger. Today, I'm totally back at it. And so, B'siyata D'Shmaya, we're going to continue our journey through the Sefer Achsharas Havrechim with the help of the Master of the World, again, taking small segments that are emblematic of the Tzaddik's path and derech that I think are the most evocative passages. Obviously, we're skipping out a whole lot, but just to give us a taste with Hashem's help of the sweet Torah of the Tzaddik. So, if you remember, it was a little bit of a while ago, but we were speaking about hisrakshus and hislavos, two different levels. Hisrakshus being a level of feeling revealed soul, emotionality as we engage with spiritual experience that comes from a general interest that pervades all of life, of getting to know Hashem, of getting to become more aware of the spiritual realm that's beyond what can be perceived. And then hislavos as like a sense nullifying, ecstatic experience of devotion where a person is just not thinking of anything that they need, or even anything that they or anything they want, or even anything that they need. In the moment that a person is engaged in that experience, it's everything is nullified, and that's a much higher madrega. That's a much higher level. That's called hislavos. But over here, the tzaddik writes that going back to the experience of hisragshus, which is something that all of us can aspire to attain, even hislavos in great moments, but hisragshus is really something that all of us can try to access. We want our Yiddishkeit, our avodas Hashem, our service of God to be full of life and vibrancy, vitality, soul. It should be alive. It should be real to us. It should be something we care about, something we yearn for. So the tzaddik writes some very poignant and beautiful lines about the experience of hisragshus, and I'd like to read them with you now with the help of the Master of Heaven and Earth. So the tzaddik says, Amar Me'ata, this is the beginning of Parag Gimel, the third chapter. He says, now that we've discussed hislavos and hisragshus, we must admit, Shaloi rak misha zeichel hislayev, avka misha misragish. It's not just a person who merits this incredibly lofty level of hislavos that will merit to what we're about to learn, but even a person who is the misragesh, hisragshusai, in his feeling of regesh, of emotion, of sincere, authentic connection with what it is that he's engaging with when he davens, when he learns, when he does a mitzvah, and when he lives life with consciousness. Reishis hiskalos hanefeshi. It's the beginning of the revelation of his soul, or her soul. Asher Allah gam or mimarim haifia. And when it begins to open up, it becomes a receptacle, it begins to reveal itself, it becomes a kliya vessel for an elevated spiritual divine light to come down upon it. V'rikshe oineg emisrakshus kodesh, and the feelings of pleasure with the holy emotions asher yargish ish b'tfilasai, that this kind of person experiences in his or her prayer, avodasai, in their avodas Hashem, v'toirasai, in their learning Torah. Says a very beautiful thing. Havrakas nitzutz ha'oineg v'lahavi kodesh min chelik hagan eden shalohi. What we're feeling in that moment is a little bit of a sparkling, is a little bit of a revelation of our paradise to come, as it were. And this is a very ubiquitous concept in Chassidus, really from the Talmidei HaMagid, where all of them basically say the same thing about the Mishnah in Pirkei Avos that tells us schar mitzvah. The reward of a mitzvah is to do another mitzvah. But that's how it's translated in a more classical sense. But the way that the Talmidei HaMagid, the way that the disciples of the Maggid HaMezritch, who was the primary disciple of the Baal Shem Tov HaKadosh, the way that they learned it is schar mitzvah, the reward of a mitzvah, is not like one day in Olam Haba we'll get reward, or even I will get another mitzvah which will get me more reward. No, schar mitzvah, the deepest reward and value of the experience of a mitzvah is that mitzvah itself. Mitzvah meaning not just commandment, but tzavsa, connection, Schar mitzvah. What I get out of the mitzvah is the experience of closeness that I feel. And that's all I need. I don't need, quote unquote, dinner and a show. It's the date. It's the time spent together. It makes no difference what it is that I'm getting out of it. It's the relationship. Schar mitzvah is the mitzvah. And so based on that, the Tzaddik's writing here that when a person experiences a feeling of closeness to Hashem, that's born out of a deep desire to live a life for real and to activate our spiritual growth and our spirituality. So when that happens, we're tasting our paradise. It's mamish paradise. That the person will feel after 120 when they leave this world. Bishirasai in his song, Tfilasai in his prayer, Vitarasai in his learning, Kishi Yichsai Fu Elav Yizbarach, when he longs for the Master of Heaven and Earth. V'yavei Hashem l'yishtashea b'gan eden v'tzadikim v'imai. At that moment, Hashem comes to rejoice with his soul and the souls of the tzadikim in paradise. And already in the Gemara we find there was a Rebbe who blessed his students. May you see your world, the world to come, already b'chayecha, already in your days. That the Gemara is hinting to this person that what you're going to see in the next world, you can already taste here, you can already taste now, you can melt into that. You can sense the pleasure of the schar mitzvah that is the mitzvah itself. The emotionality and the feeling of connectivity that you feel in this world, it's a revelation from the paradise of the next world. We should be meriting, all of us, the Ezras Hashem should be zocha to feel this in our avodas Hashem, to feel the Yiddishkeit that's full of the spirit of paradise, and to be able to taste true hisrachus regesh feeling in our avodas Hashem. Thank you so much for being here. Have a wonderful day. All the best.